You don't know what death is. Hey guys, and welcome to my review of the NECA Halloween 2 Ultimate Michael Myers. So before taking an in-depth look at Michael Myers, we're going to take a quick moment just to take a look at the packaging. Take it away, packaging guy. Okay guys, so at the front you've got the poster for Halloween 2 with the skull and pumpkin. Halloween 2 Ultimate Michael Myers. From the side you have the same, the NECA and Real toys. On the other side, on the top, on the bottom, just a quick look at everyone who was involved. And then on the back you have this very nice image montage of the film, good pose with the figure, everything that the figure includes, and a description of the film with some nice screen grabs with the figure. Very, very good. Then also, if you open the box, you have this very nice image of the figure here, and a very clear display of the figure inside. Hello. Okay, so taking a look at the Ultimate Halloween 2 Michael Myers, as you can see, he is very, very, well, brilliant, really. The amount of detail they've included on him from the film, for those of you who've seen Halloween 2, I've seen just the end of it, but I will be watching it tomorrow, actually, with my friend Lee, so really looking forward to that. I think they've done a great job with the face. A lot of people have said that the paint work isn't that good on this figure, and I have to agree, but I appreciate the details that they have tried to include. Like, I love the fleshy colour that they've included under there, that it shows that the white is beginning to brush off. The white is a sort of, it has a very deep grey wash in there, and a very off colour, which is correct, because for those of you who don't know the history of the mask, this is the same mask that was seen in the first film. It's just because it had been kept in storage for quite some time, it did get a bit grubby. Whether the rumours of the person who kept its wife being a smoker affected the mask are true, we don't know, but a lot of people say it is, some people say it isn't. But the mask did go very off, and also the biggest reason for its difference in appearance is simply the actor underneath it. He had a much bigger body type than the actor who wore the mask the first time round, so the mask did appear slightly more pushed out. So, yeah, I don't really understand why they couldn't have just got the guy back from the first film. I think it was because they needed a stuntman who was willing to do the stunts that were in the script. So I understand that completely, because Michael goes through quite a, quite a beating in this film. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I do know how the film ends. That was the only part that I actually saw. So, as you can see, they have included the 6 bullet shots from the end of the first film. And then you have, I like this, I like how there aren't as many exit wounds, so like some of the bullets might still be in him, and the exit wounds are far bigger, and they look much more, well, gruesome. They look much more forced out, which is really nice. I absolutely love the texture of the jumpsuit. As you can see, it kind of has this nice fabric-y texture to the plastic, which is very nice that they've included that, and very well sculpted pockets and the gap down here where it come together. I love the collar. It's of a soft rubber, so it makes articulating the head much more easier. And down to the trousers, you've got all those nice creases and things sculpted in. When it comes to sculpting, I think NECA is the best in the business, regardless of the issues that they have, and we all know they have loads, but when it comes to sculpting, I think Kyle Windricks and all the others do an absolutely fantastic job with what they're given. So some of you may recognize this body sculpt. You've probably seen it many times before, and that's correct, you have, just bringing in the Roy Burns Jason. This is exactly the same body, exactly the same arms and legs. However, contrary to what some people think, the PVC piece over the body, because this bit here is a soft rubber. It's a PVC plastic, and it's just placed over the top of what's underneath. So they're actually different. The pockets are in different places, and obviously with Roy, you have this big gash in his stomach, and then you have the bullet holes. So they're not just exactly the same, but painted differently. But I could understand why you would think that, but you can actually see, and I'm just noticing this, the PVC is actually from the same mold. You can see the creases are in the same place. So really, it's a modified sculpt. They've just taken the same mold and then they've modified it for each figure, which is pretty cool, actually. And but they are definitely in the same places, the creases and all that, even though something I've just realised is the Roy Burns Jason is actually quite a bit taller than Michael. So, yeah, I'm not sure maybe if it's the shoes or maybe... Oh, hang on a minute. Oh no, I do apologise. I do apologise, guys. The legs are different, actually. Oh, so maybe there are subtle differences, but you get what I mean. You know, they're the same basic shape. Underneath, they are the same structure. And then even if you bring in the Halloween 2018 Michael Myers, you can see that, you know, they all go by the very similar build structure. So, yeah, we'll just take Roy out and compare them together. Yeah, this Michael is much smaller than the other two. I have to say, that was something I never really noticed. Is the actor smaller? He might be. As I said, I haven't seen the film well, I haven't seen the film, so it's quite difficult to compare, really. But yeah, if you've bought the Halloween 2018 Michael Myers or the Roy Burns Jason, you pretty much know what to expect with this figure. Articulation is the same. We'll just go through that now. So you do have a full 360 at the head, but I don't recommend doing this because you don't want to scratch off any of the paint. But it helps that the collar is a soft PVC, so you know you can be quite flexible with the head. Also, what's very nice is they've included the needle mark in the side of the mask. So you also do have forward and back. He can look forward quite the ways, actually. That looks really cool. And you can also pivot from side to side. You can give him that kind of like, what are you doing look. His arms can bend out to roughly about 90 degrees, but they are hindered by the PVC. They can do a full 360 at the shoulder. And then there are double jointed elbows, so you can bring the arm right the way up to about there, which is really nice. Something that I forgot to mention in my Halloween 2018 review, because they all share the same body, they all have the same articulation, but you can rotate at the top of the elbow and at the top of the wrist. Both of those things do rotate, which is interesting. It's probably just how they connect the joint, but they can do that. He does have an ab crunch, but like on most of these figures, it's quite stiff, so you can get him to move forward ever so slightly. Personally, it's not something I'll be doing. And then for his legs, they can bend out quite far to about 90 degrees, so you can do that. And then you do have a rotation at the leg, so if you want to adjust it slightly, you can. The legs can kick out really, really far. You can do the splits if he wants to. Once again, using NECA's traditional old joint, which I do not approve of because I have so many issues with these joints. Check out my Roy Burns Jason review to know the full story on that. He has a 90-degree bend on the knee, or roughly 90 degrees, and then also a full rotation at the foot and pivot from side to side. He also has a full 360 on the hands, and they can move forward and back. So, yeah, great articulation, as to be expected with all NECA figures. No different for this figure, as it was on the Halloween 2018 and the Roy Burns Jason figures. So, yeah, you pretty much know what to expect. So, just to take a closer look at the actual head, as you can see, sadly, my Michael Myers eyes haven't been done as well as they could have been, but I kind of like them because they're looking off to the side, as you can see, and at least it's not one of those scenarios where both of the, you know, one eye is looking one way, the other eye is looking the other way. At least they're consistent. And it's almost like he's kind of peering around the corner, or something's coming up behind him and he's like, oh, I know you're there. So I actually do quite like that, actually. When I first opened the box, I looked at him, I thought, oh, he hasn't got straight eyes. But actually, I do really like that. I also do love the way they've painted the hair. You can still see where the brown is still there, but where it's worn off at the back. Because the Captain Kirk mask that they used had blonde hair, so they spray painted it black, and that's why it looks the very dark brown it is in the first film. But by this point, the mask had been kept for so long, about 3 years, that, you know, the paint was starting to wear off, especially in the hair, so you do get this lighter, almost blondish brown showing through. The hair is actually quite a soft rubber, actually, so it is flexible a little bit, but you don't want to pull on it because you don't want to pull it off. Very nice. I love where you see where the eyebrows used to be. Yeah, the lips are very good. I like the wash. It's given it some shadowing. Someone mentioned perhaps there is a bit too much wash, and yeah, maybe there is. But it's still very good, actually. I think a lot of people complain about it a little bit too much. I think it's absolutely fine. Although there is a version of this figure that I do prefer, but you guys are going to have to wait and see for that. So, yeah, I think he's good. So we'll just put him aside for a moment and we'll check out the accessories that he comes with. So, we'll have a look at his alternate heads. So he has the teardrop eyes, very, very awesome. This is probably my preferred way of displaying him. I mean, just look at that. It's where he gets shot right above the eyes. I love how the blood has this kind of wet, shiny look to it. And it really just makes it look like actual blood. Absolutely brilliant. I love that so much. I also love, I think on the face, on the inside, he's almost got this shocked expression, so it is actually a little bit different. But yeah, everything else is the same. You've still got the neck hole, just blood teardrop eyes. So pure preference on how you want to display it, if you just want to have the traditional mask or if you want to have him from closer to the end of the film, then that's entirely up to you. But what is interesting and what does make this figure unique and possibly worth picking up, because if you guys aren't aware, there is an Ultimate Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis 2-pack coming. In the UK, it will be out April next year. In America, it will probably be out a lot sooner. But you get every accessory that this figure comes with except for the pumpkin, which we'll get onto in a moment, and this, which is the Ben Traimer head sculpt. Now, I don't know if I want to spoil anything, because Ben Traimer, well, it's awesome that you get this head sculpt. Those of you who know the whole Ben Traimer situation, you know, you'll know, and those of you who don't, you don't, but I really don't want to spoil it. But it's so awesome that they give you this head sculpt, and this is actually based on the original mask, and I've heard a lot of people say that they want to do customs of this, you know, to make it look like the original mask. So I imagine what they do is they'll cut these little strands off, they'll somehow remove the sideburns, they'll give it a much darker wash over the top, you know. But yeah, you could actually easily make a first film Halloween Michael Myers from this, so it's just very cool, and it's nice that they give you that option. But what's great is when I get the 2-pack, I'll have 2 of these guys, so this guy can be Ben Traimer, and then, you know, it just saves me having to have 2 of the same figure. So great job, NECA. It's really nice that they included that. So now on to the pumpkin. You know, if you guys have seen the intro to Halloween 2, the greatest horror film intro of all time, you will know what happens here. Now, sadly, and once again, NECA and their quality control, this really upset me, but I have to include it in the review. So, when I opened this guy, the skull was like this, so I moved it to the middle, and it just broke. So I was really, really annoyed, very annoyed. As you can see, the inside of the pumpkin, they've got this gorgeous pumpkin inside detail with this wash of oranges and lighter oranges. Very, very good. And for the skull, it looks very nice. Very nice wash to it. And then here's the mechanism that it would have been held to the rod with so it could move. I was very upset. Thankfully, though, it kind of just sits there, but, you know, I can still display it, you know, like, as I said, that's how I would choose to display it personally. So, you know, but I was very annoyed. Come on, NECA, you know, quality control. It's like when you pay $34.99 for a figure, you expect to get your money's worth, that's all I'm saying, but yeah, it's a shame, because that was the accessory that I was really looking forward to. Because you don't get it in the upcoming 2-pack. You get the skull pumpkin, as you can see on the DVD there, you get that. So, he does also come included with some alternate hands, if you do want to shake up your display. This hand is more of a kind of grabbing hand, but I think I know what this is more for. When he has his bloodshot eyes, you have this hand over the top. He'd be like, oh, you know, like that scene, and then he just slowly lowers his hand. So yeah, I think that would be great to display that with, unless you just want him reaching out at the screen. And then you have this hand here, which is sculpted purposely for something we'll get onto in a moment, and so is this hand. So we'll go on to his accessories with weapons. So he has the scalpel, which I've heard he uses predominantly in his time on screen. And that is what this hand here has been sculpted for. It's much more tighter, so you can tell it's meant to grip, not really for the knife, which we have here, the bread knife. And then we have the hammer with the silver head and the wooden handle. Nice details on that. And the syringe. Yeah, I have a phobia of needles, so this isn't good for me. But as I was saying, this hand here has obviously been purposefully sculpted to... Oh, wait a minute, I do not want to break it. Hold on, have I just broken that? Yeah, you got to be so careful with these guys because they are quite slim. So I put that in wrong. That's how you put it in. So you can recreate that scene where, well, I won't spoil it, but I do know what happens. Ugh. Yeah, huge phobia of needles here, guys, so just, there we are. Awesome. And then for this one, I feel like this hand would be far better for using the hammer. And it does slot in there really well. So the hammer and the bread knife would be good for this hand. It's really good that they include them. Okay, so just going to show you guys how to swap the heads around. So you just take the head and twist it off. And as you can see, exactly the same as the 2018 version, you have this very nice rod on a ball, which you simply plug into here. And what's great about this is something that I tried yesterday. You can actually swap the heads around on all the figures, because this figure as well has the exact same joint. So I'm not sure why you'd want to do this, but you can. For those of you wondering, you could always, you know, do the old switcheroo. And what's funny is you can even do it with the Roy Burns Jason as well. So you could put Roy's head on any of these bodies if for whatever reason you just wanted to shake it up a bit, because they both have this rod. So yeah, very cool that you can do that. And all the heads are the same. They all have the same connection. So you've no need to worry about anything like that. So first of all, we'll try the blood tear head, just so you guys can see what it looks like with all of them on. So there we go. Like I said, Yeah, like he's been shot. Yeah, very cool. That does actually, like, this is my preferred version for display. This is how I love to display him, just because I think it looks very, very creepy. I think the blood tears really just add something to him. And then lastly, we'll do, come on, there we go. They might be a bit stiff when you first get them. You just have to kind of wear them in. Especially, oh, there we are. Especially Ben Traimer head. So there you are. If you're looking for a very drastically different Michael Myers on your shelf, then you might want to go with this head. Oh, that's awesome, because it means when I get the 2-pack, I won't just be stuck with 2 of the same. I can have this guy in there as well, which is awesome. Very, very great idea for including that, NECA. You know, and I just like that you can switch around, you know, whichever you prefer. If you like the blood tears, or if you just rather stick with the original, you have that option. It's very nice that they give you all these heads. So, that pretty much does it for this review. Overall, I think this is a very nice figure. And you are definitely getting a lot, especially for what you're paying. And yeah, it's a really, really great figure. I feel like it's a must-have for Halloween fans, especially if you're a fan of the original timeline instead of the one that's currently going on now. I haven't quite made up my mind yet, because sadly I haven't been able to see Halloween Kills. But yeah, really like this figure. I think it goes very well on my shelf, especially when displayed with the others, the 2018 version, and even the Friday figures with the Roy Burns. So yeah, they all share the same body, but they all have subtle differences, which is very nice. So I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Please sure to like, share and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this figure. Have you got this figure, or are you planning on getting it? And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I wish you a very happy Halloween. This is my Road to Halloween episode 3. So this is going really well so far. And yeah, I hope you're all safe and happy wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.